Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen.
Episode 2 to the Degens podcast here. Got myself, Liam.
We got Clay here.
How y'all doing? All right. Well, to begin off, go ahead, Ben, with our money line props for the week.
All right. I guess we'll start off with last week. We chose a money line last week. Clay, you chose the Cardinals, right?
Yeah, it didn't pay out. Unfortunately, I thought it was going to be more of a shootout game. That's not how that game went at all. Unfortunately,
I was not expecting it to be that.
I was kind of hoping Marv and Kyler got on a little bit of a connection coming off the bye. Shootout against the Seahawks. I liked it. Unfortunately, it didn't pay out.
I think Liam.
I'm the only one that lost.
Well,
Yeah.
you chose the Kansas City Chiefs.
Which also, by the way,
It felt free, but then it came down to the
It
wire.
did. It was
Came down to the wire.
It's very, very scary.
Yeah, I chose the New York Giants.
And how'd that turn out for you?
It turned out not so good.
Yeah.
I wasn't the only one who lost. It made me feel a little bit better, but I'm done emotionally betting on the Giants. I'm done with it. They consistently let me down, so I'm putting it to the side. I'm done.
You know, just like I told you last week, why are we doing the Giants? You gave me your reasons. I was okay with it, but
Yeah, no
No,
more.
a lot.
No more.
I wasn't going to tail it.
No reason.
But this week, coming up for my money line pick, I'm going to choose the Philadelphia Eagles over the Ravens.
why is that?
Eagles are on a hot streak. Saquon has been going nuts, and granted, the Ravens are no easy task. I just feel like come down to it with Saquon, with AJ Brown. I just feel like they've been popping off. They're going to keep popping off.
See, but here's mine. Well, again, it's your money line. I respect it. But here's my thing. Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry scored every single week. Yeah, they lost to the Steelers by 1. You know, their defense isn't the best. Hopefully, you know, what's it? Hamilton comes back.
Yeah.
But, you know, okay, I respect that one. My money line prop is going to be the good old Dolphins versus the Packers. I believe that tomorrow the Packers will, you know, they have some hope. But, you know, with Achane doing what Achane does, and Tua seemed to be locked last week.
Mike McDaniels did say he was going to throw ice cubes at the guys at practice to get them ready.
That's what I'm
for
saying.
the
So I'm just saying, I'm thinking that they're going to be good tomorrow. Hopefully they win. That's my lock. You know, it's the underdogs, but you know how underdogs do sometimes.
Yeah, I'm chasing you there. I got an underdog myself. I went with a divisional game. I went with the Raiders over the Chiefs this week.
Raiders.
The Chiefs, you know, they've been on a high streak. They had a loss, and then they followed their loss up with a really close game against Carolina. Everybody thought that was going to be a blowout. I'm not sure him and Kelsey are on the same page. I mean, Noah Gray seems to be that guy in the red zone.
Yeah, he scored twice last.
Yeah, I mean, he's been on a streak. I mean, I think he's got more fantasy points than Kelsey at this point. It's tough to see that connection Mahomes has had. He's down Rashee Rice. He's coming off of a tough game against a pretty bad team and a loss before that. I got the Raiders in a primetime game on Black Friday.
Let me get this. You got the Raiders on Friday night over the Kansas City Chiefs.
I got it.
With you know who's announcing, right?
I got it.
Mr. Glazer's announcing that week.
Chris
so
Collins.
Are you sure you're going with that
I
one?
like it, man. He likes
All right.
Max Crosby, too. I can see him getting 2 sacks in this game. Prime time, Max Crosby, divisional game. It's always a tough game. No matter how good the Chiefs are doing, that matchup, that's a close game every time. I think the Raiders pull out a ledger.
I just think that Pacheco comes back if he's healthy again.
I've seen reports Pacheco's that coming back to week 13.
He can be back, but I feel like they're going to have him on a snap count.
Yeah,
Kareem Hunt's been good. They don't need to pivot. You know, they're going to, I think, treat it more like how Carolina's treating it with Chuba, you know?
Yeah.
Jonathan Brooks comes back. He's first rookie running back taken in the draft. Supposed to be all this, that. I get he came off a bad injury, but they're gonna bring him back slowly. There's no need to risk him. When you got Kareem Hunt, you can just pound him off the rock. I mean, it's been working. Let's see if he can keep it going.
Now here's the thing with the Raiders too. Just to put that point in, is that they have Aiden O'Connell next weekend. I mean, they just lost Minshew. He's done for the year. Broke his collarbone. What's his name? Ritter came in for 1 minute, 2 minutes. I mean, I get it. That game was already over. He looked like a stress ball. But they got Aiden O'Connell coming back. Win or miss.
Cooper Rush just beat Jay Daniels.
Well, we
It's
can talk about that
a divisional game, man. That's how
That's-
they always go.
That's very true.
You don't see blowouts in these games. I think it's going to be close, and I'm going to predict the upset here.
I respect you on that one. Well, speaking of locks, we got here's locks of the weeks here.
Break it out.
Locks.
Liam's locks.
Oh, always, these are locks. Unfortunately, Najee Harris failed me last week because it was negative rushing yards, but it would have been a lock.
Yeah.
Anyway, going to my first round, we have on FanDuel here. We have a same game, no sweat parlay, so I'm choosing the Lions and the Bears game to choose.
Okay.
All right.
I honestly think it's going to be the most entertaining one out of them all.
Yeah.
First off, we got if Montgomery plays, anytime touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
He always seems to score early on.
Yeah.
Before Gibbs does or anyone else does. So we got him anytime touchdown. I got Jared Goff going over 225 passing yards. He's got St. Brown. He's got them all. So that'll be a good one there. Also got the Williams going over. Caleb Williams going over 200. I'm not a big fan of him. He's been here and there. But if DJ Moore puts up what he did last week, he's going to go over
Keenan Allen
200.
had a good game too.
That's what I'm saying.
He was only started in 12% of leagues.
I was gonna say
Nobody saw it coming.
We'll talk about him a little bit more
I put
later.
him in
But
my-
Yeah.
Keenan
Yes,
Allen,
we will. Yes,
I'm
we
with
will.
Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams can have his games where he pops off. I've had him a few weeks in fantasy.
So then the last two I have is DJ Moore over 40 yards and St. Brown over 60. I feel like it's pretty easy to lock. Both defenses are decently well. And again, if DJ Moore pops off like he did last week, easily over there. St. Brown, if he's questionable, which he still is, we'll kind of see how he does throughout that one. So that's my no sweat same game parlay. But then I have the ultimate lock. We got Houston money line. They're going to come back and win this week. I got CJ Stroud also going over 1.5 passing touchdowns.
I like that.
And then I got Jalen Hurts and Lamar. I think it's going to be a shootout game, so they're going to both go over 200 passing yards each.
All right.
I
I can see that happening.
And it's going to be a shootout of a game.
Yeah.
Easily.
Those are my locks of the week. We can go on to what you guys have next.
Go ahead, Ben. What you got?
So I know I said earlier I'm going to emotionally dramatize. This is not an emotional. This is strictly statistical. I've got Tyrone Tracy anytime touchdowns against the Dallas Cowboys this week. Division game. Cowboys don't really have the best run defense. Granted, the Giants don't have a very good presence in the red zone. But I have a feeling Tyrone Tracy can break free around the 42-yard line.
Okay.
He
I like
a
it.
42-yard
He can take any play home.
Absolutely.
He can take any play home. He's got that speed.
He's him and Malik are the whole team, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am a little concerned for the Giants. I don't know if you guys watched any of those post-game interviews. They were ugly. The team has lost confidence.
Neighbors is not happy.
He's not happy.
I saw an interview with him. It's
And I think the worst part is the Giants are blaming Daniel Jones. But what the players are seeing is the Giants gave up on Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones did not give up on the Giants.
yeah.
The players aren't happy. They lost you look at them on the sideline. It's sad. It's sad. So we'll see.
I almost cried in this
Hey, like Malik said in that post-game interview, doesn't matter who changed the quarterbacks, the same outcome. Same
Yeah.
Tired of losing. I get it. I get it.
Yeah,
I get that one.
next lock, I also have Montgomery. If Montgomery's in, I've got him anytime touchdown and 40-plus rushing yards.
Okay.
Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm also going to put him 70-plus yards and anytime touchdown. I think the last two games, both of them have scored their own touchdown. I think last game, Jahmyr Gibbs even scored twice.
Yeah, I'm with you. Is that all yours?
Yeah, that's all.
All right, well, I'm tailing you because one of my three locks, I got Gibbs over 71.5. It feels like an easy pick. He's an athlete more than he is an NFL player. You give him the ball, he's going to find his way. I like the way he runs. I mean,
He's quick.
he's quick.
very
He finds
quick.
the hole. He's a one-cut guy, but he can take anything. I mean, it's there.
And with him and Montgomery,
It's
they
insane.
bounce off of each other.
It's a 1-2 combo, and that whole Detroit Lions locker room, that whole team is clicking on all cylinders. I don't see how you stop them. I just don't. It doesn't feel like you can.
I agree.
My second lock I went with Jalen Hurts under 225.5 at minus 114. Devonta Smith, he's hurt. He missed practice today. It's a hamstring injury. I shy away from hamstring injuries every time. You can feel like you're fine. You get out there in your pregame. You heard it. We saw Evan Ingram in week 2 or week 3 out of nowhere. That lingered 5 or 6 weeks. I mean, hamstrings linger. Even if he does play, maybe 50% of snaps. I don't like it. He's losing one of his guys. A.J. Brown's going to see a lot of double teams. I think they're going to rely on Saquon Barkley. He's running unbelievable this year. He's on pace to set all-purpose yards record, rushing yards record.
Yeah, last year I think he had like 320 all-purpose yards.
Yeah.
with 2 touchdowns.
Well, don't forget, Derrick Henry's right behind him in rushing yards, only like 32 yards behind him.
Did
Yeah.
Derrick Henry do a spin move and jump over a defender?
No, Derrick Henry
While
takes his
facing the other
hand.
direction.
Derrick Henry takes his hand and throws you into the dirt. No matter
Derrick
how heavy
Henry
you are.
is a scary
He will
man.
sniff on you, and you will
It
touch
is.
that grass
Both
with
of
your
them.
face. So. That's the thing, though. I think both of them, especially going back to that game is going to be the game of the week.
100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's going to go 2 ways. It's going to be the game of the week, or it's going to be a boring ass game.
Well,
It's going to be 6-9, or it's going to be 34-27. There's not going to be an in between.
And well, I would
I
always.
think it's going to be.
It's going to be a shootout, in my opinion.
Go for
But
that over.
yeah, take the over in that game if you can.
Also, going back to that game, Mitchell, the Eagles rookie, I think he's a cornerback.
Mitchell, he's
yeah,
locking people
If
down.
you look at his statistical stats this year,
7 straight weeks.
he has locked every wide receiver down, wide receiver 1 down. Jamar Chase, 2 catches. What was his name? DK or
CD.
CD. All of them had either 0 targets or 1 catch.
He's
Scary
been-
Terry, no targets, no catches. He's locked down every wide receiver 1.
He's been a starter for 7 weeks. In 7 weeks, he's allowed no more than 30 yards a game and 0 touchdowns.
Yeah, so
Wow.
Since he's been a starter, the Eagles haven't lost.
that's what I'm saying.
Wow.
So that's either going to be a shootout because obviously you're going to have, again, it's going to come down to the running backs. You know, Saquon's either going to do extremely well, Derrick Henry's going to do extremely
I
well.
think they're both going to do
So,
the same.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be the game of the week right there off that one.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You have any more locks,
I
right?
do. I got one more. I got Anthony Richardson over 42.5 rush yards. He just put up over 65
I
last
was
week.
going to say, he had a good
He's
rushing
kind
game.
of, I think, in this point where he's trying to prove himself. You know, he got benched for Flacco. I'm sure he took it personally. He probably felt, everybody in the world was talking about him. You know, he let his team down. He calls himself out of the game. He gets benched. Flacco doesn't seem to be what they thought he was going to be. You know, Richardson goes back in there. I hear you. I hear you. He does a good ball. He's not what the Colts offense is looking for.
No.
It was great for the Browns last year. Sit in the pocket, make a clean pass, go. That's all you had to do. But I like Richardson over 42.5. Like I say, he's coming off a game. A lot of running. Josh Downs is questionable. I don't know if he's going to play, and if he loses a pass catcher, I could see him scrambling once or twice, and he can get 42 yards on one play. So I like it. He's going to have some design runs. Feels like a free bet. I'm cashing in on it this week.
That's a big one. I mean, again, going back to it, who they play? I'm pretty sure they play. Honestly, I don't even know. I didn't even look at that line. Who do they play? Let me know here.
They play the Patriots this week.
Okay, yeah. So with Drake May being in there, again, it'll be a good game.
Yep, they're playing in Foxborough.
I agree. Anthony Richards, and that's another hit or miss with him. You draft him in, I don't know, what everyone drafted him, sleeper league. You kept him, right?
Yeah, that was. I kept him.
That's what I'm
Played him
saying,
week
it's-
1.
I can't speak because I drafted
Now he's not on my
CMC
roster.
first round, first pick.
Yep.
Hasn't done anything.
Well,
for me.
CMC was my keeper in that game. So it's been a tough year. Just got booted from the playoffs, not making it. So it's tough. But I will say Patriots, they're 1-4 at home. They're playing in Foxborough this week. I don't like anywhere. Drake May is the only positive I see on that team right now. I think Richardson's going to have a good game.
I agree with that one. I like that. Any other locks you guys got?
That's all I got.
Yeah, that's all my locks for the week.
Next part we're going to move on is to a DFS part that we did last week. Before we get to the loser,
Yes.
we got to crown our winner.
Crown the winner.
Yeah.
He takes home the crown of this week.
For one
Yeah,
week.
it's great lineup.
1 week.
A great lineup, and as you know, and I mentioned last week, last place, we got this wheel of punishments here for us, and it pains me to say, I came in last place with a pretty egregious 88
Show them a little
points.
bit of what we got on that.
So we got a couple things I can land on. I get punished with. Here we got a $25 bet of these guys choosing. I do get lucky here in the orange slot. It's nothing, so it's a free pass essentially. We got tweet of choice. They get control of my Twitter, and they get to put out whatever they want. This one here is brutal. I definitely don't want to land on it. I got to get a spray tan. We are approaching December very quickly, and I don't think a spray tan is appropriate.
He's getting pale.
Yep. Last 3 here I gotta ingest 3 raw eggs. That's tough. Let's veto DFS choice. If I land on this one, I got my lineup obviously for this week. As I'm going through it, they can veto one of my picks, make their own pick. The Sprite Banana Challenge, that's a tough one. Not excited. And then special clothing, I think these guys have something prepared. I'm a little nervous. So we're gonna spin it here, and we're gonna see where we stand for the week.
I really hope you get that spray tan.
I get the spray tan. You're paying for the spray tan. All right, level 2 only. Level 2 only.
Please get that spray tan. What we got here?
You look like you just got back from the Bahamas. Yes, sir.
All right, we're slowing down here. What do we got? Okay, looks like we're on green. Sprite Banana Challenge. All right.
We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that tonight, but next week.
Yeah, we'll either do it next week. We'll put something out on YouTube. As you guys know, we're gonna start putting all of our live streams out on YouTube the next day, so you guys can go back and check the content. Tail the bets if you don't have a pen and paper, anything like that, so you can see the punishment on YouTube.
How close you were to that spray tan?
We are. Let's see, we were here.
You're in the green.
We were 3 away.
Oh,
3 away from a spray tan. Yeah.
And I think we'd like to introduce on the wheel of punishment. I have the chat pulled up right here next to me. So if you guys come up with ideas or anything like that, it's a smaller punishment. We're gonna do a big punishment at the end for like the ultimate loser.
Yeah.
Like one big ultimate punishment we have is bet on the corner and donate everything you get to the Salvation Army or something like that. But one thing, if you guys have any punishments and ideas, put them in the chat. I'll write them down. We might be on the board next week.
Yeah.
We shall see on that.
Yeah. We want to hear from you guys. So comment, subscribe, whatever you got to do. If you guys want to see something specific, let us know. We'll get it in here. All right, so DFS. All right, so as everybody knows, we got Thanksgiving tomorrow, so that's a little bit exciting. Everybody loves Thanksgiving football. We bumped it up. It used to be 2 games back in the day. Now we get 3. So you always get the Cowboys, you always get the Lions. So we got the Cowboys against the Giants this week. That's at 4:30. We do start Thanksgiving at 12:30 with the Lions against the Bears, and then to finish off the night while you guys are eating all your leftovers and everything, at 8:30 we got Miami and Green Bay.
I'll be sleeping.
So we got a couple good games. Anything can happen. You never know. So we're gonna do a Thanksgiving Day special DFS. We're gonna put out our Sunday slate as usual, but we're gonna do that. You'll see those on Sunday morning. Check that out on YouTube, where this video is gonna be a little bit later. So I think we should just start here at quarterback. I went with Cooper Rush, $4,800. I felt like I wanted to get a couple other guys in my lineup. I wanted to save money at the QB position. Cooper Rush has a couple good receivers, and we're going against the Giants. He can throw 2 touchdowns. That's all I'm looking for. At $4,800, if I get a touchdown or 2 touchdowns, 200 yards, I'm happy with that.
Okay, so you went with the safe.
I went with a little bit cheaper. I wanted to afford some of these other guys you guys are gonna see here in a minute, and then.
I'm feeling pretty confident, so I went baller status and with Jared Goff as my QB.
Okay.
All right. Jared Goff versus Caleb Williams. Again, Bears defense. I don't even know who they have on their team. They're decent. They're all right. They have St. Brown, again, questionable. Okay. Williams, Laporta. Gibbs can catch some passes. So, I got, he's going to be a threat.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, there's a reason he's the most expensive quarterback on the slate here. He's going to be good.
That is true. Who you got, Benji?
I'm going to Jordan Love.
Okay.
Jordan Love.
Miami.
Reason for choosing that?
Going up against Miami. I feel like that's going to be a little bit of a shootout.
They're in Lambeau.
Yeah. I just.
You don't think Rams is going to shut him down?
I don't think so. Because even. No, I don't think so.
I'm just asking. It was an honest question from you asked. Hello.
Yeah.
What do you got for your running backs?
I went with Jahmyr Gibbs at my running back 1 slot, $7,500 against Chicago. I felt like I had to get one of the 2 guys in there on that team. They're 1-2 punch, Knuckles and Sonic. I like it. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is going to rip one in this game. They're playing at home in the Dome. I like Jahmyr Gibbs. He's going to score.
Gotcha.
My second running back, I got Josh Jacobs against Miami. I went top heavy at my running backs. Josh Jacobs scored 3 times last week with over 100 yards. I think that's 4 or 5 games now, over 100 yards on the ground. He's their guy, no question. They're going to feed him, and I like the matchup.
Awesome. I got Montgomery. Obviously, you have Gibbs. Montgomery's questionable. If he goes out, I'll be switching him out for Gibbs. It'll be my one and only switch out. He's my only questionable one in my lineup.
Okay.
But I also have Tracy. The only reason I'm choosing him, Ben, is because of you. I'm gonna be 100% honest.
Yeah.
Tracy, I went over, the Packers. What's his name? Oh my gosh, going blank here. Whatever. Anyway, Tracy over Josh Jacobs. I'm going with him only because of the fact last week when he scored, he said to me something, and the fact that you can't show up about him. So I'm gonna go Tracy this week. So I'm praying that since you won last week, you chose a good team. Maybe you're onto something.
I'm just saying, if I am onto something, you're following me. Because I got Tyrone Tracy, same reason, and Jahmyr Gibbs as well.
We all share a running back.
I was gonna say. It's really especially on the Thursday games, either getting Montgomery or Jahmyr Gibbs.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
Thank you, brother. It's pretty much a no-brainer.
Yeah,
Right.
no, I agree. Again, it's one of those two. It's either Sonic or Knuckles.
Yeah.
And both of them perform extremely well, so it was a good two.
Yeah.
2 picks on that one. Who you got for wide receivers?
All right, so wide receiver, I went with a double stack. So I had Cooper Rush. I went with CeeDee Lamb as my wide receiver 1. When he plays the New York Giants, one thing happens. 10 for 120 and 2. Every time. The Giants, they can't stop him. He's got their number. He shows up every time. It doesn't matter if Cooper Rush is there. Everybody remembers 2 years ago, Thanksgiving, Cooper Rush against the New York Giants. CeeDee Lamb had over 110 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an unbelievable one-handed catch. So I'm going with the stack there. And like I said, I got the double stack. I got Kevontae Turpin in there. He's a threat on special teams. He's a threat on offense. He's got, 3 of the top 20 clocked ball carriers this year. He moves. And when he gets in any open space, he can take it to the house.
He had that spin last week.
Yeah.
That's something I'm going to do in Madden 25. When I run the ball, I early spin move like that. So,
yeah, I mean, and $3,300.
Yeah.
I can get a guy here that he can put up 14 points in one play. For $3,300, I'm going to squeeze him in there.
Yeah.
My third wide receiver I grabbed, Keenan Allen. Detroit is not good against the wide receiver position for fantasy football. They're ranked 29th, schedule adjusted. Keenan Allen's coming off a real good game.
Veteran, man. Last year, he clutched some games.
And, he may have been dealing with some hammy injuries, anything like that, but I think he's healthy. He's starting to look a little bit better when he's running his routes, a little bit more crisp.
And he was the number 1 targeted receiver last week.
Yeah.
And I just think ultimately,
Caleb's looking at right now.
That's what I'm saying. I think Caleb looks at DJ Moore and goes, "Oh shoot, he's got 2 man." Oh, Allen, boom, right there. Even if he's
Dunze's kind of disappeared, I like Keenan Allen, $5,100.
Dunze's something else. So. Anyway, for my wide receivers, I got DJ Moore. Just a big game last week. He's either a hit or miss. It's DJ Moore, man. He's a veteran. Again, I was either between Moore and Allen. I like DJ Moore a little bit more. He's got more movement to him,
Yeah, he's younger.
Allen's got the hands. DJ Moore's got more movement, so I feel like he can get out of those one-on-ones pretty quicker.
Yeah.
Followed by Malik Neighbors. Just because Neighbors said something last week about how pissed off he is, I think he's going to take that into this upcoming game.
Everybody loves the wide receiver 1.
That's what I'm saying.
He's the favorite person.
So I think because he was pissed off, he's going to follow up his words with what he says. It's like, it's not just, whatever. QB can be asked, but, it's the rest of the team. So I think he's going to do something, whether or not be one single touchdown or whatever, but he will have the yards and a touchdown high there. And then my last one is St. Brown. A little questionable. But again, you got St. Brown. He was number 1, he's overall. He's just good. He'll play. So I got those as my wide receivers. What you, Ben?
I got similar play. I went with Keenan Allen and Kevontae Turpin. Right? Because like you said, I think Kevontae Turpin, especially against the Giants are known for giving up big plays, especially on special teams. With Turpin back there, with how we've been doing this season, I absolutely think he can house a punt and kick return after Tyrone Tracy scores his touchdown. My third receiver, and then same thing we were saying about Keenan Allen. He was like the hottest target last week. He's been getting all these games, all these points and receptions. I got him, and then I also got Tyreek Hill. I think Tyreek Hill.
Is it a revenge game at this point?
Well, what standpoint for Hill?
That's
what standpoint would be a revenge game for Hill?
Disregard.
That's what I'm saying.
I was gonna say.
We're good.
I don't know what revenge game you're thinking of, but okay on that one. Honestly, right now, it's looking like between you two, if your players suck ass, it's going to come down between the two different picks you guys have.
I was gonna say,
Yeah, it's gonna come down to CeeDee Lamb or Tyreek Hill.
So
That's what
it's going to come down before, first, second, or third between you two for that one. So anyway, going into the tight ends here in your flex position, who you got?
All right, my tight end, I'm riding the hot wave. Tight end number 5 on the year. Everybody expected it. Jonnu Smith. $4,300. He's scoring touchdowns every week. He's playing good. He's getting more targets than Tyreek Hill. He's getting more targets than Jalen Waddle. He is that top target besides Devon Achane. Speaking of Achane, he's my flex. So I went top heavy at running back. I got the 3 most expensive on the slate with Jacobs, Gibbs, and Achane. I think he's gonna get a ton of catches, just dink stunks. He's gonna see a lot of that, and he seems to be the entire backfield. Mostert, right? They're not seeing these carries. It's Achane's backfield. He's getting 18, 20 carries a game. So I like Jonnu Smith and I like Achane. I think those are who the offense is running through the past couple of weeks, and it's working. Keep it going.
I agree. Before we get to mine, we have a question here. I'll let you answer at the bottom there.
All right, Zach. What's up, guys? What do you guys think about Kamani Vidal this week? So J.K. Dobbins coming out.
That's what
I like it. If we look back to the week that Gus Edwards first missed, Vidal, I think he put up 18 points. It was off the back of 3 plays, but they were big plays. So he showed he has that breakaway speed that you can break tackles. I like him. I would still go with Gus Edwards. Gus Edwards is most likely on the wire, or you were able to get him on Tuesday before the wire ran. I think he's going to see most of the carries, and you have a better luck with some volume here. But I will say the Chargers are passing a lot. 4 or 5 weeks ago, they started passing a lot, and Vidal is going to be that role. JK's not there. Gus Edwards is, pound the rock.
That's the thing. That's a big thing, too, is you got to think about them passing the ball because, Herbert's back. He's got a healthy ankle. Whether he's the cortisone shots like they did the Super Bowl, but anyway, he's back. He's good. And again, he does rely on J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards, the two 50-50s in the backfield. Vidal, again, going back to that week when Gus was out, he did really well. But, when you look at Keaton Mitchell and the Ravens last year when Justice was out, Keaton Mitchell was putting up points, but he only did that for 2-3 weeks, know. So I think coming off hot, either yes or no, it could be a big turning point for the Chargers if they can keep that running back game still going while they're also passing the ball. Unfortunately, Palmer, who I had on my bench, don't do too much for me, even though he had 8 targets and stuff like that. So I'm all game for Vidal to do all that, but again, I think just Gus Edwards over everyone on that team.
Yeah, I think he's a good flex play. I think if you are supposed to win your matchup by probably more than 15, 20 points, I would try to find a little bit of a pivot who has maybe a higher floor. But if you're maybe projected to lose or it's a close matchup or a must-win week for you, I put him in there. He has the possibility to have a breakaway, put up some high points where I feel like he's got a high ceiling, low floor. So I guess it kind of depends on your matchup and what you're looking at, but I think you can put him in the flex this week.
Listen, if you're going for a playoff position, do not risk it. Unless you absolutely need to risk it.
Risk it.
It's safe. There's a reason you drafted your team and didn't pick up people. All right? Don't risk it yet.
Says the guy who has to trade 5 players every time.
What do you mean?
Me, bring
Are you talking about me, bro? I haven't any trades yet. Anyway, going back to the DFS side. My tight end, I have Komet.
Okay.
I just think, you have Allen, you have DJ Moore, but last week, Komet was just there. He was just finding the pockets. He was finding the holes.
He's so good against his zone.
Exactly. Just kind of like how Travis Kelce does it. He's just, oh, cool. He's there. You know what I mean? You can just rely on him. Now, maybe not more so this year, Kelce, than last year, but Komet has been that guy that's been last week he was in the corner of the end zone. I didn't even see him. I know Williams was just oh, there's the ball, touchdown, done. So, again, I just think he could be a hit or miss, too, if the other two are not locked in. So, who do you have for your tight end?
Sorry, tight end, I got Theo Johnson.
All right, picks all Giants players.
All right, first of all, I have two Giants players. But Theo Johnson, I wanted to save a little bit of money for my
What did he cost this week?
Not that much, to be honest with you. Johnny Smith cost
32.
Okay.
3,200, I think. But yeah, I wanted to save some extra money for my flex of Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs is my flex.
Who was your flex, Liam?
My flex is Laporta. Good old Sam Laporta. I have him in just because, again, it's St. Brown might not be 110% St. Brown. But, I mean, yeah, if Montgomery's out also, you're going to have Gibbs and just in the backfield, you're going to need to start throwing the ball a little bit more. You can't just rely heavy on that run offense that they have. You need, to get the ball down the field.
Yep.
And again, Golf being Golf, I don't know where he's come from. He's whatever. He's
Freak of
whatever.
Freak of nature.
Yeah, he's whatever at this point. So I just think Laporta will do well. He's again my hit or miss. I have him drafted in a couple leagues, and he's either put up 20 points or he's put up 6. So it's a hard thing. But again, with Montgomery trying to potentially being out, they can't rely on that run offense as heavily, and he's going to get the ball down the field. So that's who I have for my flex. What about for your defense?
With defense this week, I spent a lot of money. I couldn't afford the Lions, who I was hoping to get. The Cowboys, where I was looking at them, but these games we play against New York, I got a little nervous. I went with New York against Dallas instead of Dallas against New York. Cooper Rush has fumbled 3 times in 2 games. I don't think it's going to be a defense-dominant game, but I could see a turnover. I could see, a fumble recovery for a touchdown, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something to separate myself here at the defense. The Lions are going to be good, can't afford them, but I went with the Giants. I like the matchup. I think it'll be okay.
See, I went a little low on my defense, just because defenses in the DFS are, again, they're either you put them in your MVP spot and they start out with 24 points versus at the end of the game they only have 6. I went with the Dolphins because I think the Packers ultimately that cold weather. Yeah, the Packers are used to it. Miami's coming, they're got the hot weather down there. I just think the Dolphins will find a way to be like, okay, we need to turn. I think they're turning the season around.
Mm-hmm.
I think Tua's come back. Tua's good. As long as he doesn't get hurt, they are on pace right now to take over and go back to where they were starting out the season really strong.
Sure.
So I just think if the Dolphins want to play in the playoffs and they want to do it, their defense is going to be the ones to do it for them, and they're going to have to come together.
True.
So
that's
why I chose that. Who do you have?
I got the Lions.
Yeah, figured
Saved
that
a
was
little bit of money. I was able to get the Lions. Yeah, no, they're solid. I mean, granted, Hutchinson is, poor guy out for the season. But, I mean, they're still strong.
Yeah.
Still going strong. Still looking great.
Their corners and safeties are so good.
I was going to say, lockdown.
They are playing phenomenal.
Yeah,
That old locker room is.
I think the Lions are going to win the Super Bowl.
Dan Quinn,
I
man,
hope they do.
I do too. And actually, can we trail that? I know we didn't have anything planned here, but I want to talk about that. We're entering week 13 here. We're getting close to the end of the year. We know we've got a decent idea what the playoffs are going to look like. We know what teams are good. We know what teams don't have a chance. I'd like to go around real quick, talk about the Super Bowl. It's what every team, when they show up at the draft, when they show up at preseason, OTAs, when they're doing all this, that's what they're going for. They're shooting for February. From the beginning of the year, they're shooting from February. I want to go through here, and I want to talk to you guys about what your favorites are. Who are you guys looking at for matchups in the Super Bowl? What would you like to see? What do you think you're going to see? So I'll go ahead and start since this is kind of a surprise here. I'll let you guys just stew on it for a minute. But I want to see Dan Campbell, okay? You go back just a handful of years, Detroit is a joke. It's a laughing stock. But I will say the fans, if you guys are watching, way to stick it through. Because I would love to be a Detroit Lions fan right now.
And all I had to do was land on that tweet punishment. Just saying.
I love what Dan Campbell's doing. The locker room is clicking on all cylinders. Everybody is not there to play football for themselves. They're there to play football for the guy next to them. And that's how you win championships. So for the NFC, I see them. I think they're going to face the Eagles in the NFC Championship game. I think they're going to win that. I think they're going to go to the Super Bowl. And I think they're going to face the Baltimore Ravens.
No, I completely and utterly agree on that one.
The Ravens, I think, are finally going to get over that hump. Lamar, with how many ever MVPs he's going to get, he's going to be the guy who couldn't make it to the playoffs. He's playing, in my opinion, unanimous MVP at this point in the season. Nobody's playing better football than him. Everybody was on him. Oh, he's a running quarterback. Oh, he can't throw the ball. He can.
I was gonna say
He's doing it better than anybody else.
Yeah.
Okay? You have Derrick Henry. He's firing off. The whole team is firing all of a sudden.
Yeah, no,
The defense is struggling.
That's super.
The defense is struggling, but it's a first-year coordinator. They're still figuring it out. I know we're in week 13. They're learning new things. They're figuring shit out.
Yeah, that's Patrick Queen.
Harbaugh's a great coach. I think he's gonna really tighten it up come playoffs. Not that they're not already ready to go, but I think he's gonna really tighten the ship up entering the playoffs here. I think they're gonna defeat Patrick Mahomes in the AFC Championship game, and I think they're gonna lose to the Lions in the Super Bowl. I think Dan Campbell gets it over Harbaugh. It's unfortunate Lamar is not going to get that ring, but he made it, and he's beaten Patrick Mahomes, and I think that's going to give him a leg to stand on when the haters start talking again and again and again. Those two teams are playing better than any football that I see in the league. I think that's where I'm standing at this point.
No, I agree. Definitely on the Lions standpoint of things, they're playing as a team, and I'm just, hey, I need this,
Yeah.
It wasn't like 2012 when Ray Lewis was like, I'm done after this, boys. What are we doing? And they're going just like, we're playing for you. So they're playing like they need it. They obviously, I don't think they ever won a Super Bowl. I don't think they've ever won. I don't know if they've ever won a Super Bowl.
No.
I always like to vote for people that
I
never
think
won.
they went to 3 and they lost all.
That's what I'm saying. I like to vote for people that don't go. I just got not being biased saying Lions are big guys. I think they're playing as a team. They're actually clicking. Their defense could use a little bit of help. It's going to be interesting come free agency how much money they're going to start paying these people. But again, I think the Lions are going to be good. Now, going back over to the other side of things here, I'm stuck between either, in the sleeper, in my opinion, I'm with you with Lamar. I have a bet in already for Lamar Jackson MVP. I already got that locked in. But I don't think it's between him and the Bills. It's him and Josh Allen.
I like it.
Josh Allen has been, he's a sleeper again.
You took the words out of my mouth.
But again, just Josh Allen, like, again, you can't be like, oh, Josh Allen's not good. I mean, who does he have on his team? Absolutely nobody.
Amari Cooper.
Oh, now he does. But again, he's got nobody to pass to other than Amari Cooper now. Now Mike Coleman might come back, but Josh Allen has been.
Ways to win.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I think
He's finding ways to win.
I think he's finally.
He's relying on his legs.
I'm saying he's finally come to the senses of, okay, listen, someone needs to step up on this team, and it's going to have to be him.
Yeah.
It's going to be so. I'm so between the Lions versus either the Bills or the Ravens. I couldn't. It's 50-50 for me.
I would love to see any one of those matches.
I would love not to see Patrick Mahomes beat it, but that's just me. So,
He's so good.
Yeah,
I can't.
I would say, but Liam, you literally said exactly what I was going to say.
Bills,
I was going to say the only one I could see is the Bills sneaking their way in.
Yeah.
They just beat the Chiefs, which granted the Chiefs aren't looking that good, but that was a good kick in the nuts for Mahomes, little confidence booster for Josh Allen, because he usually gets his ass kicked every time he plays Patrick Mahomes. So I think it could potentially be their year this year.
Yeah. I love Josh. My number one QB, and this is just going like position play. I love the style of Josh Allen plays.
Yeah.
Now I love Lamar. Don't get me wrong. He's got that finesse to him and everything like that. But when I see Josh Allen play, I see Josh Allen playing because he knows that he has to be the one to do it.
Yeah.
Whereas,
those 3 defenders,
that's what I'm saying. And then, you see Lamar playing it. Lamar's nice, shifty, finesse moves and everything like that. But Lamar knows in the back of his mind, he doesn't need just to be the step-up dude. He's got Derrick Henry. He's got Zay Flowers. He's got, Aguilar, who's kind of stepped up lately. He's got those people. So I just like to see Josh Allen's play style to me is going to be the make-or-break situation of his year this year. And again, if they make it, I'm all Bills then.
Yeah.
Sorry, Lions, I know, but I'm all Bills guy. Josh Allen makes it in that one. And then going back, actually, let's do one more time. Rookie of the Year. This is just one big one that I like to put out there because we're getting that one halfway point. We've seen rookies perform where they either should have or just totally not perform.
I already know who you're picking.
Of course.
Bo Nix.
No, I got actually Jaden Daniels. So that's my rookie of the year. Yeah, I know. No, big Denver guy. Bo Nix is, to me, he just showed up too late.
Yeah, that's very true.
It's just Jaden Daniels.
But did Jaden Daniels stay hot long enough?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You don't know yet.
What it comes down to.
The way I look at it,
I think it depends on what Jaden Daniels can do with the rest of the season in the postseason.
Brock Purdy was an MVP favorite entering, I think, week 16 last year. He lost one game, and he wasn't even. I don't know that he got. It's who's hot. It's who's hot at the end. And if I'm going rookie of the year, I'm taking Bo Nix.
I like that.
I like what he's doing. He's throwing all sorts of touchdowns. He's got great legs. He's fast. He's elusive. He's strong. He's breaking tackles.
Especially, like, do they have a chance at wild card?
They're in the playoffs.
They're good.
I was gonna say they go for a little.
They're not locked, and there's no teams locked for a playoff berth yet.
Unless tomorrow the Bills win and Miami loses, Bills are in. And then Kansas City wins and the Raiders lose, and I think Miami has to lose. So.
That have a choice.
No, there's no one else locked. But again,
if Bo Nix takes some runners on this in the playoff.
They're on the playoff run right now. They're 7-5.
Yeah, no. And Cortland Sutton, oh my God, I'll please all night. Cortland Sutton has been doing me so good.
I agree with that. But again, going back to Jaden Daniels, yeah, everyone has their missed games.
Yeah.
You can't. But last night, or what was it? Monday? Was it Sunday night?
Sunday, 1:00.
You can't tell me that he was really off at the beginning. That team doesn't look like it has the leadership that Jaden Daniels should be providing for the team. He doesn't have the leadership, in my opinion, yet. But I also just think
we're not saying he's a bad pick.
No,
not at all.
I just personally think if he did what he did in the last 5 minutes of that game, you're golden.
Yeah.
You find your best wide receiver down. You get him the ball.
I'm not gonna lie. I was watching him throw the Hail Mary, and in my head, I was thinking about that Chicago game.
Yeah.
I was saying, if you watch it,
that was good.
The scramble looked identical.
Yeah.
If you watch, I watched back the replay. It was actually perfect. They knew that he was not going to be able to throw it, I think it was 70
something.
They knew. So what they had was Zach Ertz and Scary Terry come up and try to hit the ball back and up.
Yeah.
And if you watch, they had two guys just in the back just waiting.
Yep.
So
came away with an interception, thankfully.
yeah.
Good job, Dallas Cowboys.
Bo Nix, Jaden Daniels, who you got?
Oh, I don't put too much thought into this. I'm going to be completely honest.
Paradisey.
No rookies on the paradise. No, I would probably say Jaden Daniels. Just like last season, the Redskins. The Commanders, they didn't have a crazy time, and turns it around. Setting all these types of records as rookie year. I think as long as Jaden Daniels stays relatively hot, he doesn't kind of do nothing crazy, but as long as he stays,
he's got to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
He's got to make the playoffs. He's got to win in the wild card round.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think
he's got it
for sure.
He's actually using his targets and he's doing what he needs to do. Again, the only thing I think Jaden Daniels needs to change around is he needs to become the leadership. He needs to be the leader on that team.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you have some veterans, but if you want to win a game, it all comes down to who's got the ball at the end, right? He needs to be that leadership, So that's my big thing. That's all I have for obviously.
I got one more thing I want to do here, and then we'll let everybody go, check out, say our byes. But so we're entering week 13. This is gonna be for you guys, okay? I'm gonna go through every game we got starting Thursday all the way till Monday.
$1 to $1 million, baby.
16 hands away from $1 million. But I want to go through it. I'm gonna give you the matchup, the spread, and the game total. And all I want is your initial money line. One thing, no explanation, just who do you got, boom. All right, so 12:30 Thursday, we got the Bears versus the Lions. Detroit minus 9.5. Total 47.5. You both got the Lions. All right, 4:30 Cowboys versus Giants. You got Dallas minus 3.5. Total 37.5. They're playing in Dallas.
I'm not gonna bet on it, but the Giants.
What's the spread on that one?
Dallas minus 3.5.
I like Dallas on that one. I'm going Cowboys.
Okay, we got the night game, Dolphins versus the Packers. They're in Lambeau. Green Bay minus 3.5 point favorites. Total is 47.5.
I think the Dolphins pull it out.
I want to say Green Bay holds their own.
Okay. All right. Black Friday, Chiefs Raiders. We know how I feel about this. They're playing in Arrowhead. Got Kansas City minus 13 point favorites.
Taylor Swift is going to be there. Kansas City Chiefs are going to win.
Okay. I like it.
Friday Night Lights, something you never see much.
Yeah.
Is there?
Starting the Sunday games, we got the Chargers against the Falcons. They're playing in Georgia there. We got the Chargers minus 1.5 point favorites. Close game, total 47.5.
I'm gonna go Falcons.
I'm on Falcons with that one, not just because I'm wearing a Bijan jersey, but just because I honestly think the Falcons will pull it off.
This one, I'm interested in hearing what you guys have to think about this one. All right, we got the Steelers in Cincinnati against the Bengals. Cincinnati minus 3-point favorites, total 47.5.
See, I think Cincinnati, just because they are getting to the point where they are lights out, and I just think the Steelers are just, if they're stealing wins, Cincinnati.
Three of the Steelers wins was just field goals.
So Cincinnati is my pick.
I agree. I'm going Bengals.
I'm taking Steelers. We got the Cardinals versus the Vikings. They're in Minneapolis, Minnesota 3.5-point favorites. Total 45.5.
Vikings. They just picked up Daniel Jones.
Yeah, the Cardinals, they signed him today. We got the Colts versus the Patriots in Foxborough. Indianapolis is minus 2.5-point favorites with an over/under of 42.5.
I got the Colts.
Yeah, I got the Colts.
All right, Seahawks in New York against the Jets. We got Seattle minus 2-point favorites, over/under 41.5.
See, my gut's telling me not to go to Seattle, but I'm going to Seattle. I think, actually, no, I'm going Jets. I think the Jets pulled off this week.
I'm going my gut. I'm
going Jets.
Well.
I would not.
I'm going Jets as well.
Jets can't figure it out.
The bye week?
That's what I'm saying. I think
You got a quarterback who doesn't want to play for the team, a coach who thinks.
Oh, no explanations, go.
Okay.
I want to hear it.
We got the Commanders versus the Titans. They're in
Commanders.
Daniels rookie of the year.
Washington 5.5-point favorites, over under 44.5. We got the Texans versus the Jaguars. They're in Jacksonville. Houston 4-point favorites, over under
I think actually
43.5.
going back out.
And I'm hitting the over on Nico Collins.
Okay. 4 o'clock. Here we go. We got the Rams in New Orleans against the Saints. Rams 2.5-point favorites, over under 49.5.
I like the Rams.
Give me the Rams.
Okay. This one feels like a layup, but you never know. We got Baker Mayfield and the Bucks taking on Bryce Young and the Panthers. They're in North Carolina. Tampa's 5.5-point favorites, over under 46.5.
Choosing Money Man Maker.
There it is. Ben, Baker.
No. Fuck them. Fuck Tampa.
Wow.
I'm going North Carolina.
Wow. Betting with his feelings. Just got beat last week. Here we go. The Eagles versus the Ravens. They're in Baltimore. Baltimore is 3-point favorites. That I think is going to be a close game. You know, Baltimore's at home, 3-point favorite only. I think it's going to be really close. Over under, I think it's the highest of the week, 51.5.
Game of the week, I got Ravens.
Okay.
I think they better grease the poles in Baltimore because Philly's going to come big.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Starting with the night game, we got the 49ers versus the Bills. They are playing in New York, Buffalo's territory. 7-point favorites, over under 44.5.
Yeah, give me the Bills.
Okay.
The
And
Benjamins.
to finish off the week here, we got the Browns playing in Denver against the Broncos. Denver 5.5-point favorites with a over/under of 41.5. We got Broncos clean sweep.
Yes, sir. Too hot.
Yeah.
Too hot.
I like it.
Don't even gotta ask on that one.
I like it.
You know what's gonna be funny? I wrote them all down. I'm gonna go put $1 on them tonight. $1 to $1 million on that one. Anyway, that's all we have. Again, welcome. Thank you for coming back.
Yes,
Welcome to the new people.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have this up on YouTube. Go
Again,
watch it back.
we have each week. I don't even know where our wheels at.
We got the wheel. If you wanna get on the wheel, want to put something on the wheel, comment. We'll get it on here.
Yeah,
If you want to see something during the podcast, you want to ask us a question, leave a comment. Did we get any more questions here? No questions. All right. Feel free, comment on the YouTube video when it's up. We'll be responding on there with any questions, and we will see you guys next week.
Tune in for episode 3. We're glad to do the banana and Sprite.
Banana and Sprite, guys.
So happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.